Welcome. I'm Brian Russell. I'm going to talk about some pranayama, so breathing exercises, and how it relates to our nervous system. So pranayama means breath control, and oftentimes people think about pranayama as meaning breathing exercises, but it's also a little bit more than that. We take in prana many different ways. One of the ways is through the breath. The prana kind of rides on the oxygen into the body and then gives us energy that way. We also take in prana through the food that we eat, through the things that we watch on TV, through the emails that we read, through the thoughts that we think, through the interactions we have with other people. We take in prana from the space that we're in. All this can influence our energy. Just think about anything that influences your energy is transferring prana, either into the system or out of our bodies. But we breathe every day, all day long. So the way that we breathe really influences our energy level. So we think about pranayama as breathing exercises. And I'm going to talk about ways that it relates to the nervous system in such that there's kind of two parts of the autonomic nervous system. I'm going to call one of them energizing and one of them relaxing, relaxing. So the energizing aspect is this sympathetic nervous system. And we know this as the fight or flight, right? So if we get spooked by something, if we're walking in the woods and then, an animal walks in front of us or a little snake goes in front of us, we get spooked. And what happens? The heart rate goes up, our breathing gets a little shallow and more rapid, and our muscle tone gets a bit tense, and we're ready to either fight or to run away and flight. So this is the sympathetic nervous system. It's kind of this, also sometimes called the stress response. And it happens, it can happen when we're walking in the woods and we see an animal that kind of spooks us, or it can happen if we have a deadline at work and we're going to get stressed out about getting this report done, or anything can cause stress in your life. If you're driving and there's a car in front of you and they're driving real slow, this can cause the same stress response. So on the other side, not on the energizing side, but on the other side, so over here we have this relaxation response. We'll call this a parasympathetic nervous system. And parasympathetic nervous system, think about it as a rest and digest. So the heart rate is going down, our breathing gets nice and slow. It's kind of what happens, near the end of yoga class. We just relax and rest the body, the muscles relax, and our breathing gets maybe a little bit more deeper and slows down. And the blood in the body kind of says, or the nervous system says, we're not worried about our immediate health. Like, we don't need to run away from anything. And we can relax, we feel safe, we feel comfortable. And what we're going to focus on is the long-term health of the body. So we're going to focus on digesting the food. We're going to put energy into the immune function of the body and really just kind of make sure that the body's healthy all over, and that cold that may be coming on, we're going to put some energy into that. So this is this parasympathetic response that the body has. And this kicks in when we feel kind of comfortable and relaxed and at peace and kind of stirred up by this other aspect of the nervous system. And they kind of work in opposites. So as the energizing sympathetic nervous system is stimulated, the parasympathetic nervous system would go down, and vice versa. So the body's constantly kind of balancing itself one way or the other. And so we kind of go through our day with these two aspects of the nervous system stimulating and destimulating. And the idea is that it's very good that we can go back and forth. And we want to be able to, if we are in the woods and we do need to run, or if we need to if we do have a deadline and we're really working and we need to focus, it's great to be able to shift that energy to that kind of short-term stress that we're dealing with. And then when we're done with that, or when there's no action we can take, when we go home from work, it's good to be able to shift to this kind of rest and digest, more relaxing aspect. And so we can get a good sleep, and we can digest our food, and we can, fight off any kind of long-term things in the body. So we want to be able to move back and forth. We're not just trying to move to this restful state. But in today's world, it seems like many people are kind of in this chronic state of stress. We're kind of like, you can be stressed out for the whole day over a deadline, or maybe even some people are stressed out for a whole week over something. Or maybe some people are actually stressed out for a whole month, or some people a whole year. Some people 5 years or 10 years they spend in this sympathetic state. And it's unhealthy for the body. It kind of overworks the heart. It kind of overworks the whole system of the body in terms of the ability of the heart and the muscles to maintain this balance. And it also, by not digesting our food and compromising the immune function of the body, then we start to get sick. And we just end up with lots of health problems if we're always on the stress side. Stress is like, I don't know the statistics, but it's a very big cause of many of the health problems that we have in the world today because we have chronic stress. So these breathing exercises I'm going to show you help to bring our system back into this parasympathetic state, and we can move back and forth throughout our day a bit more maybe naturally, or to kind of suit the actual situation, not to be always in that stressed out state when we don't necessarily need to be. So there's 3 aspects of the breath, 3 ways that our breathing can stimulate either the sympathetic or the parasympathetic nervous system. And the first one I'll talk about is the inhale versus the exhale. So as we inhale, this is, well, which one do you think it is? Is it energizing or relaxing? The inhale, it's energizing. It brings energy into the body. It's kind of this, we feel a little maybe tension. If you're doing a yoga pose, you take a big inhale. We feel a little bit of tension coming into the body. It's energizing. And then the exhale, just think about taking a sigh. It's relaxing. So it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. So every breath that we take, the inhale and the exhale, we're bringing the system back into balance, one way or the other. So if a simple breath, if we want to focus a little bit more on relaxing the body, what we can do is, well, first of all, make sure that the inhale equals the exhale. So this would be a very simple breathing exercise to do. We could just inhale to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 4. So we would inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just demonstrate. So just doing a simple kind of counting, equal inhale, equal exhale, will start to bring the system back into balance. If we want to take it even one step farther and go more into a relaxed state, we can extend the exhale. So the same amount of air is coming in and out on the exhale, but we're exhaling a little slower, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So we could inhale to a count of 3 and exhale to a count of 6. So we could inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll just demonstrate. Yeah, and you can try that on your own anytime. So again, it's the same amount of air. So the inhale curve is just a little steeper, and then the exhale is slower, but the same amount of air is coming in as is going out. It's just slower on the exhale. And that relaxes the body. I feel a little bit more relaxed right now, even just taking those 2 breaths, extending the exhale. So this is something very simple that you can do anytime you need to kind of lower your stress and relax the body a little bit more, kind of get more comfortable and centered, is we just take that nice breath in and exhale, extending the exhale. So inhale is energizing, exhale is relaxing. The next thing, the way that our breathing influences these two, is where we breathe. If we breathe with our belly, and our belly is moving, versus if we're breathing with our ribs and our ribs are moving. So as our belly moves in and out, this stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system and relaxes the body. As the ribs move, so if we kind of do this chest breathing, this is a stimulating breath, and it is energizing, and it stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. So like if we going for a run, we need lots of energy, we end up kind of breathing with our ribs, and a lot of people breathe with up in the ribs. If we're stressed out, this is where we start to breathe. The ribs are moving out and in and out and in and out and in, and this is stimulating that stress response. It works both ways. So if we're stressed, we breathe this way, but if we breathe this way, we get stressed. So it's like two-way street. So what we're doing in the pranayama is actually using the way that we breathe to influence our stress response or our relaxation response, rather than allowing that response to control how we breathe. So we're kind of taking control of our life by intentionally breathing in certain ways, knowing that we're going to get a certain result based on just the physiology of the body and how the body is wired. We're going to get either kind of more energy or more relaxation. So a way to practice breathing with the belly is to find a comfortable seated position. So the spine is nice and tall, the heart is open, and shoulders back. Or you can do this laying on your back. But we're going to bring one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart, maybe up near the clavicles. And we'll just inhale, let the belly expand. And exhale, pull the belly in. So I'm kind of exaggerating the movement of the belly button. Inhale the belly out. And exhale the belly in. Inhale, belly out. And exhale, belly in. And one more time, inhale, belly out. And exhale, belly in. So as we breathe down here, this is called the vagus nerve or cranial nerve 10. It comes down the front side of the body, and then it spreads out over the belly. So as the belly moves, it stimulates this, and it stimulates this relaxation response in the body. In contrast, as we breathe with our ribs, so we can just keep focus on the movement of this upper hand. As we inhale, the ribs expand. Exhale, the ribs relax in, and again, inhale. Ribs expand, and exhale. Ribs relax in, and one more time, inhale. And exhale. And of course, you can be doing this along. These are very safe to do just from watching this. All the breath we're doing today is very, very safe to do on your own and experiment and kind of learn about how to do them. So I'm going to move back to the belly. Inhale, belly expands. Exhale. One more here. Inhale, belly expands. And exhale. And I'm going to move up to the ribs. Inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then back to the belly one more time. Inhale, belly expands. And exhale. So you can kind of practice breathing in these different parts. And then we can put the two together in what we call this full yogic breath, or dirgha pranayama. And it kind of like yeah, brings balance to the system. So if we need more relaxation, we're going to get that because the belly's moving. If we need more energy, we're going to get that because the ribs are moving. So to do that, both hands on. So we're going to inhale, belly out. Then continue the inhale, expand the ribs. Exhale, relax the ribs. And continue the exhale, pull the belly in. 2 more times. Inhale, belly and ribs. And exhale, ribs and belly. And last one here, belly and ribs. It's a full breath. And then exhale. And then pull the belly in. So that's a great breathing exercise you can do and practice on your own, just getting comfortable. Again, it's great to do laying on your back, same hand position. It's a little bit easier on your back sometimes because sometimes it's uncomfortable to sit. And also the spine is supported and it's very straight and the heart is open and we are ready to really breathe. So a lot of people will breathe up with the ribs for several reasons. One, maybe you're stressed and so the body kind of brings the breath here naturally. And then another reason is that we want to look a little bit skinnier, so we kind of pull the belly in and we walk around pulling the belly in. And this doesn't allow us to breathe here, so it forces the breath up here and the ribs are moving as we breathe. So it's kind of by mistake almost that we're creating this stress response in the body, not allowing the belly to move. So it's good to relax the belly, let the belly kind of hang out a little bit, and then as we inhale, the belly expands out even more, and then as we exhale, pull the belly in. Just something to be aware of and to practice is breathing with your belly a bit more. So that's the second way. So just to review, the first way was the inhale versus the exhale. So the inhale was energizing, exhale, relaxing. And the second way was the breathing with our belly versus breathing with our ribs. So if we breathe with our belly, it's relaxing. If we breathe with our ribs, it's energizing. And then the third way that we can influence the nervous system through our breath is what nostril we breathe in and out of. So if we just bring our hand underneath the nose and gently exhale, you'll notice that one of them is a little bit more dominant than the other. Right now I'm a little bit more dominant on my right side. And so a little bit more air is moving out of my right side. So we move back and forth throughout the day, every hour or 2 hours naturally as the body is kind of, balancing the energy of the system. So the right nostril is energizing and the left nostril is relaxing. So you'll notice when you get a cold and you start to get a little stuffy, you get stuffy on one side and then a few hours later it will switch and then it'll be stuffy on the other side. So that's the same thing happening. The dominance kind of being exaggerated a lot. But so you can check now what your dominance is and then check, maybe a couple hours later, see if it has switched or not. And so what happens is through our day, we might get stressed or we may get in kind of a lethargic or state. So we're kind of stuck on one side or the other longer than is kind of optimum for the body. So doing a pranayama like alternate nostril breathing, where we breathe in and out through one nostril at a time, alternating, this really brings the body back into balance using this aspect of the breath. So I'll just talk about this one pranayama called the sweet breath, Nadi Shodhan. And I'll just talk about the hand position. So we're going to hug the 2 peace fingers into the palm. So we have the thumb and the middle, or the ring finger, and we're going to end up closing the sole of the right hand. So the thumb is going to close the right nostril, and the ring finger is going to close the left nostril. And we always start with the exhale of the left, kind of like this cleansing exhale, and we're going to finish the same way. And I'll just walk you through a couple rounds. So we're going to inhale, close the right nostril, and exhale through the left. We're going to inhale left. We're going to close both and exhale right. Inhale right. We can close and exhale left. So that's one round. We'll do one more round. We can inhale left. We'll close both and exhale right. We're going to inhale right, close, and exhale left. And then we can lower the hand down. So you just continue with this comfortable breath. You don't need to worry about a count or breathing too shallow or too deep. Just whatever breath is natural coming in and out. And it can be a little bit weird at first. And I guess my advice, you can practice this at home. It's very simple. So we're going to use the right hand in this position, using the thumb to close the right and the ring finger to close the left. We always exhale with the left first, and then we do one round or as many rounds as you want, finish with the exhale to the left. Those are kind of the simple steps. You could do 5 rounds or 10 rounds of this as often as you'd like. If you ever kind of find yourself in a stress situation and you want to find your center again, and if you get into an argument with somebody, maybe it's best not to be in that argument right then, but you go and you do some pranayama for a few minutes, and then you kind of get settled and you're not in that stress state anymore, and then you can have that conversation a little bit more heart to heart rather than from that super energized or stressed state. So that's kind of the, I guess, ways that the pranayama influences our nervous system, which in turn influences our whole life is affected by the way that we breathe. So just having this awareness, so it's the inhale versus the exhale. Inhale, energizing. Exhale, relaxing. The belly is relaxing. The ribs are energizing, and the left nostril is relaxing, and the right nostril is energizing. So that's kind of, I guess we'll just leave it at that. And hopefully it's helpful for you to understand kind of how these simple breathing exercises that I showed you fit in, but then also the other ones that you'll learn in yoga. They also use the same kind of mechanisms. And there's really hundreds of different breathing exercises, but they're accessing the same system of the body to bring the body back into balance. And when we're dealing with pranayama, in yoga we're talking about so prana is like this life force in the body, so we're talking about the life force and the energy of the body. And we're really changing the energy in the body when we do pranayama. So we'll finish this pranayama section here, and then there's going to be many more things that you can look for later. So Brian Russell, thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.